Hello, my name is Wildstag, and thank you for tuning in to another used book review. Today, I'm going to be covering this book, Heart of a Lion by William Stolzenberg. The subtitle is A Lone Cat's Walk Across America. On the back, there's a comment, praise for Heart of a Lion, written by Dr. Alan Rabinowitz. I've seen his name in a couple other books before, and I think I know which ones, but relevant to this one, it says he is the Chief Executive Officer of Panthera, which is a nonprofit organization. Heart of a Lion is a tale of extraordinary achievement and resilience that reads both like an adventure novel and a detective story. But the beauty of this book is that its hero is not a human, but North America's largest resident wild cat, the mountain lion. It goes on, that's just the first couple sentences, but it really captures the spirit of this book really well. So the way this book starts, I'm going to take off the sleeve on it just so I can show you. I bought this used online. I had seen it at my university library, saw the cover, thought, I really want to read that book. But I don't like buying new books, so I looked for it used on Amazon when I had some money. This copy has, in the top right corner of the cover page, Matt Soper, 2016, and I'll show you that right now. It's not going to focus on it, but the rest of the cover has milestones within this mountain lion's life. It's a book of investigative journalism. The author, William Stolzenberg, he's the author of the book Where the Wild Things Were and Rat Island. I think I actually have Where the Wild Things Were in my library, so I'm going to go check that right now. And sure enough, I do actually have a copy of Where the Wild Things Were by William Stolzenberg, the subtitle Life, Death, and Ecological Wreckage in a Land of Vanishing Predators. I bought it used at Coas, as I buy so many other used books. It's a good bookstore, and it's also the nearest one decent used bookstore to me. This one is published in 2008. I haven't read it yet. It's in my white bookcase, which means I am going to get around to it eventually. It was on the second shelf, which means honestly, there's a shelf and a half of books I need to read before I even think of reading this one, including this one I'm really anticipating. I can't wait until I get to that on the bookshelf. A Scent of Rum Doodle, which I hear is an amazing comedy about mountaineering. But I digress. I'm talking about Heart of a Lion today. William Stolzenberg is a nature writer and a journalist, and what he does in this book is cover, as best as his investigation can discover, the life and times of this mountain lion through some fiction writing, but also through investigative interviews. And so it's the prologue is about it dead, but asks the question, how did this mountain lion get here? And chapter 1, titled Black Hills, covers that. The Black Hills is the southeasternmost refuge of mountain lions of any decent population size in the American West. Rapid City and the Black Hills of South Dakota are really about as far east as those mountain lions are going to get on the Great Plains. But it discusses how this lion might have lived its early life and how a lot of the territory that could be used is not really available for a young male that needs to wander and find its own territory because the dominant males are older, stronger, bigger. They control the best territory. And so this mountain lion, for whatever reason, left the Black Hills and wandered across South Dakota. There are no solid leads on what it was doing in South Dakota, and so for the most part, a lot of it is extrapolation. And there's also a lot of context. People that were involved in the hunt or involved in the government's decision to hinder these mountain lions' progression east. Finally, it ends up getting noticed in Minnesota, near Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And from there, in December of 2009 through May 26th, 2010, about 6.5 months of time, this mountain lion is spotted through multiple times in eastern Minnesota, all the way to eastern Wisconsin. And then it is supposed by this author that at some point in the summer of 2010, the lion crossed into Canada, and further, December 2010, there was a suspected island hopping by the lion in the Ottawa area, spanning the St. Lawrence Seaway. Between eastern Wisconsin and northeast New York, there are no known confirmed sightings of this mountain lion. This mountain lion continues to try and find good terrain, and what a lonely existence that must have been. Its entire journey through the plains and into Midwest and then New England, eastern US. There are no other mountain lions at all for it to interact with. It is, in a word, a loner. It is seen and photographed in June of 2011 in Connecticut. The lion circled the house of Brendan Gilsonin. 6 days later, the lion is killed on the side of the Wilbur Cross Parkway in Milford, Connecticut. His body bears no signs of former captivity, and his DNA matches 5 other samples collected along the way. And it makes all sorts of waves. You know, Minneapolis, St. Paul, 2 police officers see it and really, they don't take any pictures, but they know in their heart of hearts what they saw. And sure enough, a couple months later, they find more and more evidence of this mountain lion being in the eastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin area. People see it before a winter snow race, you know? All sorts of sightings and hard evidence. And as people in the east, in the Appalachians, realize this is a mountain lion in the east of the Mississippi, we need to catch it, we need to monitor it, we need to do whatever we can to study it. This story is fascinating to me because pumas, cougars, mountain lions, panthers, whatever you want to call them, they are my favorite animal in North America. This large feline, comparable in size to leopards in Africa, which are itself a big cat. This creature still lives in the West. I live in New Mexico, the big old flag behind me, and it's got a thriving population. The wild horses in eastern New Mexico, the thing that keeps their population down is mountain lions in the plains, like mule deer, elk, bighorn sheep on White Sands Missile Range. The thing that keeps their population down is mountain lion. The thing that is seen so many times in San Diego and Los Angeles and southwestern California are mountain lions, and their population is being encroached upon in so many ways. But in the southern Rockies, especially in New Mexico, they've got so much of the state just to themselves because the state is so sparsely populated. I've never seen a puma in the wild. I've seen what I think was one of its kills, hidden right next to a fallen log, some sinew still on the bone, as I was wandering in the Cibola National Forest by myself. I later brought some people back there and had some kids try and work their way through what might this be. Is it an elk? Is it a deer? Is it a cow? What eats it? Could a coyote have killed this? Could a coyote have hidden it right here? Did the cow or elk or deer, whatever it was, just die nestled in this small, and really I mean small, the width of this tree was maybe this big around. It wasn't a big log. Did it naturally die here? What caused this skeleton to be here? Why is there some meat on its bones still? I liked that as a activity for these kids to try and work their way through what this might have been. And ultimately, it is a large mammal that was almost wiped out by government efforts that survived because of government efforts and has since expanded and now has populations scattered across the West And to some, it's seen as a pest, something you need to kill, and to others, it's seen as an inspiration. And that's what the lion is. There are mountain lions out there, but so few people have seen them. They know that this thing just exists. And Heart of a Lion is about that heart of freedom, of discovery, of exploration, of that burning drive of a young male to go out into the world and to make in that world a place to call home. I say young male because it's relevant to this specific creature, but all young creatures, all young people really have that mentality, I think. That curiosity about their world. This one mountain lion could have just settled in the foothills of the Black Hills, but it kept moving. This mountain lion, it could have settled in Minnesota, in the forests where moose, porcupine, white-tailed deer, elk, all manner of smaller creatures live. It could have had prey there. It could have had prey in Quebec, which it had to have crossed. The forests of Quebec, which have similar prey to Minnesota, and no competition. But it kept on moving east, further east. What drove it to push on? And that will always be a mystery. But what we can say is that this young lion kept on traveling, kept on exploring. It died a wanderer. And that's inspiring to me in so many ways. And you know, I paid for this book. I could check Amazon how much I paid for it. On Amazon, I paid $6.74 for this copy. Shipping and handling brought it to a total of $10.73. And it was absolutely worth it. This book is amazing. The topic, the subject material is just so awe-inspiring to me. I would read this book a third and fourth time easily. Like I said, they're my favorite animal. And I love, love, love reading about them and how they've survived in the West. And the way these creatures affect so many people inspires me. It's partly why I go off trail into the wilderness, because I know I'm never going to see one on a trail. I'm going to see one when I least expect it. Heart of a Lion is a fascinating story about one young mountain lion's journey to find home. It eventually ends up dead in Connecticut, having started in the Black Hills of South Dakota. It is absolutely a book you should buy if you are interested in nature writing, and especially if you are interested in predators, and especially if you are interested in American icons, and especially if you are interested in mountain lions. It was worth my money. I'm not sure I would have bought it new, but I think you should buy this if you see it, if you're so lucky. My name is Wild Stag, and thank you for tuning in to another used book review.